Hey guys,
Hello.
we live again. With yet another webinar. And first of all, I would like to introduce, my name is Vincentas Grinius. I'm a CEO of IPXO. I also would like to introduce my colleagues Paulius, Aistis, and Ignas. Guys, some short intro about yourself, guys.
Sure, I can begin. So my name is Paulius Judickas. I'm head of sales here at IPXO. And yeah, we're making this IP Lease, IP Monetization platform real and live.
Hey guys, Aistis here, director of R&D. I'm working on cool features that are behind the curtains and that empower IPXO. So hope you like those. We'll show you some.
Hey guys, my name is Ignas. I'm a head of infrastructure at IPXO, and I'm working on keeping the platform live. Let's see, like that.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. So, our previous webinars were before the launch of IPXO, so now the things are changed. IPXO finally saw its daylight, and today we are going to focus on what can you do with IPXO and what features are available right now and what we are going to develop going further. So I would like to kick off with some let's put it this way, visionary and roadmap things. So some facts about IPXO. Right now, IPXO has 2.5 million IPv4 addresses. More of them are added on a daily basis. We have a really high, around 89% of utilization rate. And we serve 75 plus industries. Believe it or not, even farmers need IP addresses. So really huge and global customer base we have. And, probably the most important fact here is that we are the only platform in the market, in the global internet, that builds such a solution. So we are really proud of it. We see a big future, and we're going to deliver a lot of stuff for you guys. So, the main features of IPXO platform. We built RPKI management, which is essential for both parties, IP lessors and lessees. We have our high focus on abuse prevention and management. This is our top priority. It's not number one in the list, but it's definitely our priority. And of course, full automation of the processes that surrounds the actual ecosystem. And we also will support, I'm not saying that we are supporting all of the areas, but we're going shortly to support all 5 of them. And of course, we have, big customers like Equinix, Avast, you name it. And more of them are coming every day, either IP holders, either lessees. So what priorities we have? So yes, first of all, we're going to focus on the actual ecosystem, on the automation stack, and better abuse prevention and monitoring. And on phase 2, we are going to concentrate, and that's going to happen from next year. We're going to deep dive into the DDI functionality, where we see the opportunity here to kind of be as a player and the management platform for the IP holders and for lessees managing their IP addresses that are located in their LRI. So that we're going to achieve by building the so-called discovery features, where you could extract a full view of your IP allocations or leased IP addresses. And of course, we also very strongly trying to build the ecosystem of the providers where we would be able to give you the instant provisioning of IP addresses. So I will not disclose more of the information about it. Let's have it as a small surprise. Now, talking about the whole concept of IPXO, so we see 4 directions of the platform. So we have the IP ecosystem, of course, the automation around it, how you monetize and how you lease those IP addresses. And of course, abuse prevention management and the whole cybersecurity part, as well as global RRI unification. So it's very important for us to comply with all the policies of every registrar, and we keep a track of every policy change, and we simply implement it. So I'm gonna give a steering wheel, I think, to Paulius.
That's correct.
That's correct. Yeah.
Good, Paulo. Here you go.
Yeah. One thing though, I can no longer see the slides actually because well, my tab just crashed. Can you guys like restart the presentation?
It's going on, and we can see you, Paulius. Just Vincentas, maybe you can put yourself on mute since it's bouncing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we still need to figure out the slide issue because I can only see the splash art for this webinar.
What about now?
Oh yeah, perfect.
Okay, so shall we go then? I mean, yeah. I can help you out.
No worries. I got it right now. So okay, I'm gonna talk about IP monetization and IP pricing trends in global. And I'm sure all of you are well aware of IP shortage, IPv4 shortage in general. And I'm not gonna delve into that forest anymore. I'm gonna present you with a couple of new statistics, new interesting statistics that could dictate the pricing and the whole trend of IPv4 movement in years to come. So first of all, what we can notice from the IPv4 buying and selling price. So within the last 2 years, IP price grew by almost 250%. And also additionally, the volume of IP transfers keep on going up. And we don't have the statistics for this year for now, but I bet I can really bet on this that this year will set a new high score for IP transfers in general and IP transfer volumes. So what this dictates? You would naturally think that companies who has a lot of unused IP resources would start thinking about either monetizing or selling those resources. Well, that's not the case, unfortunately. We can still see that there are over 800 million IP addresses that are completely unused, meaning those are unannounced to the internet. So they're just sitting in somebody's drawers, collecting dust, while there are a lot of new and growing companies that are in big need of these resources. So we present you the possibility to monetize your IP addresses. So first of all, 3 main benefits that I think are, general ones. So unlocking new revenue streams for your company, naturally, you will help to solve the IPv4 shortage, as well as enabling those new and growing businesses to expand. Of course, like in any other rent or lease relationships, there are challenges to overcome. So, in my opinion, top 3 challenges are IP reputation, IP hijacking problem, and finding the reputable leasee whom you could trust and who you would definitely know that he will pay you and he will take good care of your resources. So how IPXO tackles those problems and those challenges? First of all, we have automated block list scanning in place, advanced reporting tools, full-on abuse management, real-time IP address monitoring systems, strict KYC procedures that we're gonna cover a bit later down the road, and we have an RPKI integrated to ensure secure BGP routing. So that means you will not need to worry about route leaks, possible hijacking scenarios, and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to IP leasing pricing trends, we're seeing pretty much the same picture here. Starting from 2018 till this day, the prices almost tripled. And well, this correlates directly with the previous slide that I've showed you, the one that displayed the IP buying and selling prices. Also, another interesting statistic that we have is that naturally IP lease pricing isn't, well, catching up with buying and selling prices on day-to-day basis. We've noticed a double in price since the beginning of this year, but from like to this day, from the beginning of the year, lease prices are, well, until now only grew by around 40%. So we've calculated this. We basically measured previous historic data, and what we noticed is that there is a 6 to 8 month gap between IP buying and selling price increase and IP lease price. Where I'm going with that, so if you're currently sitting on unused IP resources, you can definitely bet on this, that you will get even more revenue from leasing your IP resources rather than selling them, dropping them off right away. And you could, well, probably already tell that I'm a big believer in IP leasing rather than IP selling, and the benefits that IP lease brings you. So first of all and foremost, you retain the IP ownership rather than selling your resources and taking a one-time deal, getting the money and well, leaving the resources putting the resources to new hands. You would be better off with keeping the ownership for those resources and monetizing while it's still enabling other companies to use your IP resources. You would also get recurring revenue, meaning if you would use IPXO platform, you would get monthly payouts for the resources that you put in the marketplace, and you would also benefit from yield gains. You already saw the price increases, and the prices are hitting new highs every day. So keeping those resources to yourself while getting recurring revenue from lease is a definite way to go. And I have two exemplary revenue models here. On the left, you can see the selling IP, selling your resources model. On the right, it's leasing, and it's a really conservative calculation here. I only added 25% yield gains, annual yield gains, while you've seen that within first 9 months of this year, the prices grew by 100%. So you could expect even larger, bigger revenue from leasing rather than selling. And this model represents the way if you would put your unused IP resources to the marketplace for 1 year and only sell those IPs afterwards. Even with this conservative calculation of 25% price increase, you would still get 43% more revenue from the IP resources you're not currently using. So I don't see where's what to think about. You should, if you're still sitting on unused IP resources, you should definitely start monetizing them right away. And we worked on this platform for at least 2 years. We made it as easy to use, as streamlined as possible. And honestly, there are only 3 steps to begin monetizing. Sign up, import your subnets, and unlock your new revenue streams. And I definitely feel that this should be our new slogan, Vincentas. Add subnets, lease them in minutes, enjoy extra revenue.
Very, very pitchy talk.
That's just what I do. That's just what I do.
I'm
Very
sold.
good. I'm sold. Sign me up. Okay, so now we're going to deep dive into more technical things. So Ignas and Aistis, our superstars, rock stars, you name it.
T-shirt.
Right.
Superstars with T-shirt. So, all right, guys, I'm sure you're all eager to start monetizing your unused IP resources. But before we do that, I'll just quickly give you a bit of theory that's essential to get us going. So the requirements are simple, right? You need to be an owner of the IP resource, or you need to be an official administrator of the Lear account. You should have your abused mailbox set up, and you should read it or designate an automated system which does, but it has to be active. The object that we talk about, namely IP subnet, it has to be an exact inetnum or net range in the registries. Otherwise, you will fail to add it into our marketplace. And you'll have to make sure that the status of that object is complies with the requirements, which I'm going to talk in detail next slide. So a few details on get you going with ARIN, right? So you need to add abuse point of contact to your organization identifiers. We will use this abuse point of contact in order to send you an automated email with a link that you'll need to click to verify that it's really you. In the future versions, we will also provide an option to specify whether you want to go with this contact, administrative contact, or technical contact. That is also part of the organization identifiers. But we have to use that, so that's essential. Now, very important, parent resource must be of the supported net types, and they are listed. So we support directly allocated, reallocated if it's to us, or legacy net types, unsupported, reassigned, or direct assignment. So in essence, if it's already assigned to some company, we cannot reassign it further. Then it means it's no go for our clients, the further leases that are using the platform. And lastly, if the net type is supported and everything's great, you perform a reassignment to your IPXO platform by choosing the network type as reallocation. And then you select the downstream organization, which is IL845, and that's it. The further steps you'll see later in the demo. Right, that's the second big registry, or biggest registry in the world that we support today. So a couple of things that you need to do there. So you can either use an existing inetnum that you are going to add into a marketplace, or you are creating a new one. But the idea holds, it has to be of the size that you are adding. So it needs to have an object in the registry. We also have a supported and unsupported inetnum statuses. So if it's the best are probably suballocated PAs and legacy. The rest have a couple of nuances. So as an example, if you're adding, you can add an assigned PA subnet into a marketplace, but you won't be able to split it into pieces. So that means if you're adding a certain size, you will lease it as that size, and that's it. So you cannot lease out a subnet to two entities, for example. And if you go with allocated BA, which is mask 24, then, and I wrote it not recommended, and that's because, well, the automation is not going to work. And whenever we are doing reassignment on any other operation, unfortunately, we'll need to ask you to do the work. And probably that's not good for you. So don't do that, not recommended, but possible. And the unsupported ones assign PI, and if it's allocated PA and the mask is smaller than 24, you just create a more specific one. And yeah, lastly, add your organization into org attribute. We will look for this attribute in order to dig out the abuse contact yet again. So similarly to RM, we will send a confirmation email. We will make this also optional and perhaps make an admin C or tech C in the future. And lastly, add us as maintainer by adding MNT by attribute with IPXO MNT. That means that we will be able to do the further reassignments to our clients and create proper whois objects in the database. So that's that. And lastly, special note on RPKI, which Vincentas already mentioned. So yeah, we are running multiple CAs and serving a large airway repository almost 2 years now. It's great, and for some time I believe we've been the largest one commercial entity running such repository. So we, delegated RPKI is a cornerstone of IPXO operations. We really believe in that, and we have the automation to prove that. I must emphasize that delegating RPKI to us does not mean you lose control. It's possible to arrange everything in a way that we take care of the subnets that you are putting into Marketplace while you retain control over the subnets that you use in the rest of the infrastructure or everywhere else. So don't be afraid. It's good, and we definitely can arrange that. And lastly, RPKI saves everybody's time. Yours, ours, and our clients. So, and it allows for automation. No need for those PDFs with signatures that everybody forgets about. So, yeah, we support delegated RPKI. That's it. And we go for live demo now. Ignas will quickly show how that looks like from IP owner's perspective, adding into Marketplace.
Yes. Can everybody see my screen? Is it okay? I think it's okay. Okay, so Aistis has showed us the theory, the configuration of whois, and actually we have our demo account prepared, and I already have the demo subnet prepared as well. Just to recap, our demo account has the exact init num setup with organization attribute present. It also has our maintainer configured, which would allow us to do more automation as well. So let's go ahead. Let's click on monetize IPs. I'll paste the subnet right away. As you can see, you can add more than one. You can add up to 100 subnets in bulk. Let's add one. We can see that the RIR status is checked right away. As my colleagues have mentioned, we currently accept only RIPE and ARIN subnets. And if you missed the configuration which was provided by Aistis, you can check the requirements in the knowledge base articles here and here. Let's continue. Next, we can see the markets configuration details. Let's set them up. In here, the first configuration is the subnet split. We can configure the minimum and maximum split that you can do for the subnet. So basically, at this point, since this is only a /24 subnet, there's not much we can do. However, if it was a /22, let's say, a subnet, we could have configure it to say to be placed in the market in only /24s only, or /24, /23, and /22, well, whatever you like. The second configuration is the subnet expiration, and basically that means just for how long you would like to put the subnet into the market. Let's keep it for 24 months. For auto renewal, let's keep it to on, which would mean that after those 24 months have passed, another additional 24 months would automatically be, the subnet would be automatically renewed for additional 12 months. And the another configuration is hiding the subnet for the marketplace, which we will leave as off, but this would be useful for the IP holders who maybe already have some IP lessors who are would like to buy or lease the subnets using our platform, and they would like to hide it from a marketplace so that no other client, no other lessor would lease it beforehand. So let's click save. Okay, so let's click next. Now let's configure the pricing. So let's give our /24 subnet a price of 120. We can see that IPXO's commission would be $18 on top of it, and the full price would be $138. So the pricing is set up, and in here we can see the configuration. We highlight the key points of TOS. Of course, you can see the pricing details in here. We also require the IP holders to consent of the required actions if they need to be made, and as well as terms of service. And now we can see that the subnet is being placed in the market, but beforehand it must go through some authorization and validation. Let's check those. So as we mentioned beforehand, the subnet must have organization. The inetnum must have organization attribute added. And why is that? That is because we must know that this subnet belongs to some certain entity. And how do we do that? We check the organization attribute, find the abuse contact, and send the ownership confirmation email. And that is what is missing at this point. We also checked for the whois, which means that we checked if the exact inetnum exists within the whois, and if it contains our maintainer attribute. We also check whether it's a correct RIR, meaning that currently we only accept ARINs and RIPE subnets. We also check for authorization status, meaning that whether we check whether the you have signed the LOA-A, which is required for the IP holders. We check for BGP configuration, meaning that we must know whether the subnet is not announced anywhere in the world. We check for our reverse DNS delegation, meaning that a domain object must exist with our required named servers. And we also check for IP reputation, meaning that we check whether the subnet is not included into some block lists. So of course, after those validations go through, the subnet is placed in the market, but the IP holder should also remember to correctly set up the payout methods so that he would be able to receive those. And as well as we can see, there are 3 types of payouts possible. One is the credit balance, bank transfer, or PayPal. If you choose a bank transfer or PayPal, you can also set up a payout cycle, so you'll be able to receive those payouts not in monthly, but in quarterly or semi-annually fashion. So that is all there is in placing the subnet into the market. Actually, it's really easy. So I think that we should go to IP leasing. So let's go to the marketplace. Just a quick heads up, I have created the demo company before, and I have already completed the Know Your Customer compliance form, which Paulius will actually go through a bit later on. So let's continue. We have clicked on the marketplace, and we can use some filtering to filter out the required subnets that we would like. So let's search for /24, and let's search for ripe subnets. Let's say the minimum price would be $80, and the maximum price would be, let's say, 200 to fit a little more of the subnets. IPXO also
to give some clarity. So this is for the month price.
Month price, yeah, exactly. So IPXO also offers some advanced filtering. So let's say if you are trying to find some subnet with some particular geolocation already set, we offer that functionality, and you can set the country or the city. Or if you would like to find some particular subnet with some specific octets, you can also put those there and be able to filter even more. So I'll search only for those. And we can see that we already found some subnets according to our filtering. If you would like to change some filtering configurations, you can do so easily on the left-hand side of the screen. Let's buy the subnet. Let's lease the subnet. Review the order. And we can see that there are a few payment methods that we could use. Since this is a demo account, we already have it set up, so we do not have to worry about it. And let's agree with the terms of service.
And some of the guys wanted to ask when PayPal option will gonna be available. So it's gonna be available soon. Actually, hopefully next month. Yeah. So Ignas, carry on. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. So yeah, let's continue with checkout. And that's it. You've just leased your subnet. At the moment, we can see that the subnet has not been reassigned to any ASN, which is a autonomous system number, meaning that it's not being used anywhere according to our system. Let's assign it. So we have our company name, and let's use a organization that we are going to ASN number that we are going to assign a subnet on. For this demonstration purpose, I'm going to use 834, which is our AS number. If you want to add more than one, you can do so. Let's use 1299, which is Telia's AS number. So if you're fine with just LOAs, then that's all. You can just click continue. However, if you would like to receive something else, let's say I would like to for ROAs to be issued as well, or let's say if there's something additional, so maybe I would like a remark to be added demo. Then click
Yes,
continue.
these last three questions, you know, a bit of prehistory. It came out of experience. You know, initially we thought, let's be smart and go ahead and create everything automatically and everybody's gonna be happy. Turns out that's not always the case. So hence we added those questions as optional. Do you really want RDB objects, for example, or not? Maybe you don't. So yeah.
Yeah, because no, it's okay. Some clients needed those, and some clients actually needed those removed. So we put it as a additional requirement. If you need that, we will do it for you, but if you don't, we'll just not do it at all. So let's go with the ordering the reassignment. Let's choose credit balance, and let's agree with the terms of service, complete the checkout. We can instantly see that there are 2 ASNs that the subnet has been reassigned on. If we want to do some further reassignment, we can just click on assign again and add another one. Let's say it would be 3356, which I think is level 3 AS number. Am I right? I am. And I guess I would like so for ROA as well. Let's continue. Proceed with the payment. It is done. There are 3 ASNs present. Now, if you would like to receive LOA, we can do that right away, just clicking on the link. And the LOAs are being put into the one archive because there are 3 LOAs present, as well as LOA-A, which is signed by the IP holder, meaning that it provides us the he gives us the right to issue LOAs on his behalf. So if the LOAs are enough, that's it. If you need ROAs, then they will be done in a short time, and you will receive notification about it. If you do not want the subnets to be reassigned of some particular ASNs anymore, you can easily revoke those by clicking here, or by clicking on subnet details and clicking on revoke right over here. Let's do the revocation. We can see the subnet is no longer assigned on some particular ASNs. And if you do not need it anymore, then we can continue and terminate it. Let's do that. IPXO appreciates your feedback, and we would like to know why would you like to terminate this. At this point, and in this demonstration, it was just testing. And would you consider using IPXO services in the future? I definitely would. Let's terminate. Actually, IPXO has put some safeguards in this position, as we noticed that there often mistakes happen, and you can easily miss some numbers and choose different subnets. So to actually make it a bit easier for our clients, we put a delay termination for the subnets, meaning that even after you click terminate, there will be a window of 30 to 60 minutes where you can actually go back and, oh my God, I noticed this is not the subnet I wanted to cancel. So you can go click on the status and actually cancel your termination, if that's all you need. And again, the subnet is active. Well, actually, I did need it terminated, so I will continue and do this again. And that's it. You can leave it like that, and the subnet will be terminated in within an hour. So that's it with the leasing of IPs. And I guess, as I mentioned before you can do that, you need to fill the KYC form. So I'll pass the word to Paulius. Maybe you can show guys how to do that.
And I will be the annoying guy. I would like to jump in again and take a deep breath. No, actually, I would like everyone to to invite to our IPXO Slack, where we release many of the bug fix news and release news. If it's gonna be a YouTube, so subscribe to our channel as well. And Paulius, sorry.
No
Yeah,
worries,
most
no worries.
importantly, we also, listen to your voice. So whenever you have good ideas, shoot them up in the Slack. It's being read.
Absolutely. More suggestions we will have, the better the platform will be. So, we rely most importantly on you. Either you are the IP holder or the Z. We listen to your messages, we listen to your voice, and we definitely consider adding everything to the roadmap to evaluate, to see, you know, what is the priority, and it's definitely important to us.
Yep. One more thing I wanted to mention that Ignas probably skipped. So whenever an IP holder is setting up the prices, they're getting payouts fully, meaning they get the full amount they set those IP addresses to be leased for. And IPXO doesn't take any commission from the IP holders. Commissions are paid by the end leasees. So that's an additional benefit for IP holders to place their subnets to the marketplace. Oh, and also, if we're talking about Slack, like by far the most popular like channel on our Slack is a notification channel, and it was off in one point for 2 days, and we got numerous messages from our either new existing customers or the customers who are simply looking for new subnets, because it's really handy, really useful. You can see the registrar from which the subnet from which the subnets are, the pricing per each subnet split. So if you're not there yet, you should definitely join as soon as possible. So okay, let me quickly go through our customer verification and KYC processes. So naturally, it's our duty. It's our biggest duty against IP holders is to keep their IP addresses in pristine condition. As Ignas mentioned before, subnets are placed into the marketplace. They have to check the IP reputation scan, meaning only clean IP resources can be placed for lease, for monetization. And it's up to us to keep those IP resources in this pristine condition. So let's go through all of the steps. So first of all, during the registration, we require phone verification. So no bogus registrations, no fake email, also no temporary email boxes are allowed, as well as only real existing phone numbers which must be verified are allowed to join the platform. Next, and probably one of the most important ones, is the biggest business verification. So up until you complete the business verification check, you cannot start leasing the subnets. We only work with B2B strictly. So no, shady guys from the street can come and lease out your subnets. These business verifications are checked by hand. So we do a thorough check for even company background, meaning that if we find some shady, bogus history for that said company, the verification is declined, and that said user can no longer access the marketplace and cannot lease the subnets. If you pass the business verification before your first lease, before getting your hands on the first subnet and announcing on your infrastructure, you must pass the compliance check as well. These are fairly reasonable questions, which allows us to make sure that some IP holder subnets are going to good and trusted hands. We check whether the company is GDPR compliant. We check what industries those companies are working with. And also we do cross-check the information with the information you've provided during the business verification checks. So if we see something that doesn't match or doesn't add up, we redo the whole business verification from the scratch, and if needed, we're contacting each of new registration to make sure that validity of this registration, to check the validity of the registration and to check their intents on how and for what reason those IP resources be used. We also have an additional security layer on IP holders' IP resources. So starting from the top, we do not work with OFAC listed countries. And well, this makes sense. Again, this is just to keep your IP resources as safe as possible. We do not work with high risk industries. We have our own ASN block list, which is actually combined from our historic ASN block list, because we're working with IP addresses for almost 10 years now. We've generated a like fishy and bad autonomous systems numbers with a database, which we later combined with spam houses ASN drop list. So if the customer tries to get LOA or ROA to one of those bogus ASNs, it cannot finalize the purchase of ROA and LOA, meaning your IP resources wouldn't be announced on shady, on untrusted autonomous systems. We do real-time and daily IP health checks and monitoring. So we're always going one step further, like on preventing real damage to your IP resources before it even happens. And we have an ever-growing abuse management team, abuse prevention team that's working on daily basis with keeping everybody's IP resources and keeping the whole marketplace free of any possible abuse. And yeah, that's our KYC, that's our business verifications. Now, guys, we're all open to your questions.
I'm currently answering a question from Grant King, and he actually he has a question: how does a current client leasing subnet using the old dashboard transfer over to the new IPXO dashboard? Is there any process for this? So Aistis, perhaps us together we can cover that answer, and perhaps I would say that first of all we want to introduce all registrar support, and once it's introduced, we're going to migrate all the IP addresses to IPXO. Am I right, Aistis?
So yeah, you see, with the updated requirements to be listed in the marketplace, namely us being maintainers or us being the organization to which the subnet is reallocated, we'll have to make sure that it all makes sense, right, in the end. So of course we can we can jump over the rules and but we better not, since for all intents and purposes we want the system to be automated, and so we'll see. I mean, if it's Arena, all right. I mean, the rules are simple. I have shown what's needed, so we'll send out, I believe, an email to all IP holders and explain what needs to happen. Perhaps introduce some kind of window over which you can transition without problems into the new platform, but then those validations will need to be passed. We'll see. If I believe the biggest issues will be, and I hope there will be not many of them, with the subnets which really shouldn't be in the marketplace, right? The ones which are already assigned, let's say, to an organization and cannot be further reassigned. But I believe Paulius team will reach out to those IP owners, certainly.
Nereus team.
Nereus team.
Yeah.
But to make the answer short, yes, we have a plan of migrating IP addresses from HEPIs to IPXO. And yes, we're definitely going to communicate with both parties. And yes, we want to make it seamless so that we would not encounter any distractions. Because it's very, very sensitive and vital resource, and we understand that. So the risk is high, so we want to make us seamless as possible.
Yeah, Sarbe also had a question whether will it be possible to set a minimum lease terms. So yeah, you're hitting the jackpot again, Sarbe. So we also have this in our roadmap. We will present a feature for IP holders to set minimum contract leasing out terms to their subs. So yeah, that's also coming probably even this year.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions we can cover? Yeah. So since we are waiting for new questions, I'll add a little bit about our roadmap. So we have decided to make our roadmap releases as transparent as possible. So you can always check what new things are released in our changelog. So it's very easy, ipxo.com/changelog. And up there you will see the latest releases. So right now what we see is that we're going to split Aquamarine release into another 5 versions to fix the bugs, to implement more features and prepare for a new release. I can't say the code name of the release, it's top secret. But with that release, we already scheduled to introduce a full registrar support. And after we're going to work on the migration things from HEPICE to IPXO. So first of all, we want to build, a strong foundation so that the IP addresses and the IP holders, and at the same time lessees could have the same experience that they have in HEPICE, actually even better experience, because IPXO is all about experience and only experience. So then after the migration, because it's going to be a huge step for us, as you know, many millions of IP addresses up there. So then we're going to deep dive into more automation, more views, and discovery, development type of things. I think we have covered it. If you need any questions, you can always email us, sales@IPXO. Oh, Sarbi got another question. Let's have a look. Are you likely to offer additional services such as IP subnet preparation assistance to help IP owners with getting their IPs in a suitable status prior for being able to lease with IPXO? As you know, we have troubles with both RIPE and registered subnets, and having a guided hand would be invaluable for many IP owners. Yes, absolutely. That is something really up to different policies and different, let's say, procedures that registrars have. But yes, we definitely can give a hand, and we definitely are giving hands.
Yeah.
And I think we already gave you hands. So, but yeah, if you guys have legacy space, and if you struggle to understand the policies and the way how registrars operate, just hit us an email, and we definitely will be able to help you. and we're definitely going to guide you how to do that. So that service is already available, actually.
Yeah, and not only that, we also can assist if the IP subnets are in trouble. I mean, if you have bad IP reputation or whatnot, so our in-house reputation specialists can assist, and we've already done that. I didn't want to say abuse specialist. That sounds bad.
Yeah, that sounds weird,
Abuse department.
Specializes in abuse. What?
No, that's very wrong.
Reputation specialists.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And another big thing that we have is the RPKI management. So right now we have the back end of it. It's not available on the front end side, but if you want to spend a minimum time managing and creating, different objects for the new lease commitments, just ask us for RPKI management, and we can set up for you the RPKI management only for those subnets that are in IPXO, that are listed in IPXO. And you will see how your life quality will improve, supporting all those bits and pieces regarding the managing the objects of IP addresses, because it's done automatically, and we use RPKI for that, and we are big fans of it, and we're definitely going to move forward with implementing and many things on the front end side as well. Yeah, so that would be it, I guess, for today. Stay tuned for another webinar that we're going to have in October. It's October, yeah, October. I think that next week we're going to announce the topic, and we kind of wanted to present today, what you can do with IPXO, but we're definitely going to include interesting guests, interesting people. We're gonna have a lot of interesting discussions, and not only blindly promoting IPXO platform, which is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and Vincentas and
Yes.
everybody on this webinar, if there are service providers on this call, reach out to us regarding partner integrations. We have big ideas. We really want to work with you.
Absolutely. So just to give the quick overview of the partnership program. So we are now building the ecosystem from different telecoms, ISPs, cloud providers, etc., where you will be able to be on the list in our platform. So that means that instead of Lease entering the IS number, they would pick from the list of the providers. And we have a case where we want to enable a quick announcement or quick provisioning of IP addresses. So shoot us an email, and we definitely will give you more information on the ecosystem partnership, as well as we are rolling the referral program where you can get the recurring commissions. Also, API will gonna be available pretty shortly, so you will be able to integrate IPXO within your infrastructure stack and provision IP addresses on your infrastructure for your customers or for your needs. that would be it, perhaps from the partnership part. Okay, so I think today we had a very good session. You guys are the top notch. Really performed very well, and thanks for your help. So let's stay in touch, guys. Shoot us an email if anything, and see you on the next webinar. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.